Hey everybody, Mike Banner here for another episode of the 62 Who Knew podcast. Now this is going to be a little bit of a shorter episode. We have no guests, but we have one very important guest, me, your host, Mike Banner. And I'm doing it from my home studio, as you can see, with my two best friends behind me. Today is our 6-month anniversary. It is our 23rd or 24th show. And I wanted to take this time, like I said, it's going to be a little bit of a shortened version of 62 Who Knew, to tell you what we've accomplished, what we're proud of, what we're changing, and what's coming in the next 6 months. So our little introduction before the show, which is 30 seconds, was done because I was taking too long at the beginning of the show. The first few shows, the expert said, explaining what 62 Who Knew is. But I am going to do it for this show. The whole premise of 62 Who Knew is the double-edged sword of longer lifespans. Yes, we are, half of us, if not more, are going to live to be 90 years old. And with scientific and medical breakthroughs coming in the next 5 to 10 years, you can take that 90 years old and turn it into 100 in the next 10 years. Isn't that wonderful? The problem is only 2% of the country is financially able to live that last 30 or 35 years of their life in a high quality of life. And that's what 62 Who Knew is about. Every week we bring on another national expert to talk about everything from financing to long-term care insurance, to Medicare supplemental policies, to Medicare, to Social Security, annuities, life insurance, divorce after 50, every subject that you could possibly imagine to help you get from age 62 to 90, 95, and 100 in the highest quality of life with your children and your grandchildren. In addition, we have our website, www.62whoknew, because it's one thing to watch a podcast and get great advice. But then what? We give practical, usable advice. You can go to our website, again, www.62whoknew.com, and click on the proper link and get contacted by the best long-term care insurance people in the country, the best mortgage people in the country, and yes, very soon, by the #1 real estate company in North America, ReMax. That is right. We are very proud to announce that ReMax is becoming part of the 62 Who Knew family, ReMax Alliance, the largest ReMax agency in the southeastern country, #5 in the state for ReMax. ReMax has been voted the most trusted real estate company in North America for the last 11 years. And although it's not up there yet, it won't be there by the time you're seeing this episode. Within the next 30 days, any 62 Who Knew viewer is going to be able to avail themselves through our website to the best ReMax agent, wherever you may live in the country or the 110 countries that ReMax practices real estate in. To list your home, if you're listing a home in Michigan because you want to move to Florida, if you're listing a home in Akron, Ohio, because you want to move to North Carolina, 62 Who Knew is now going to be able to give you the top ReMax realtor to sell your home and to find you a new home wherever you're going. And you can trust that red, white balloon. That's one of the many improvements coming between now and the end of this year. So we wanted to just take a few minutes to thank everybody. We have some figures that I thought were very interesting. We gauge success in the podcast world by views, and then what we do with those views. And the truth of the matter is, one of the top #2 viewership for the last 6 months was our own Medicare Nation expert, Miss Diane Daniels. Diane was the founder of Medicare Nation, the #1 podcast on the topic of Medicare supplemental policies. She is known throughout the country. She has been on twice with us. She is one of our national sponsors, and she garnered the most views, just a little less than 3,000 views, because Medicare is something that affects everyone. Yes, when you're 65, because we live in the greatest country in the world, You just get it. I mean, you have to apply for it. You got to go to www.medicare.com, .gov, I'm sorry. But you just get it. That's how great this country is. And it is amazing how many people think, well, now that I have it, I'm set. No, 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 no. Medicare covers 80% of certain expenses, not all the expenses that you're going to need from 65 to 95 or beyond. What's needed for that is a Medicare supplemental policy. Okay? And that is what Miss Diane Daniels has one of the most top expertise in the country. And again, she garnered number 2 of the last 24 episodes because there are so many different choices. So if you've turned 65 and you're getting ready to get Medicare and you do not have a Medicare supplemental policy, go to www.62WhoKnew. You click on that link that says Medicare Nation and you talk to Diane directly. If you already have a supplemental policy and you want to talk to Diane and say, do I have the right one? I mean, there must be 24 choices out there. Did I make the right choice? Again, go to www.62WhoKnew and check on the Medicare Nation icon and talk to the nation's best, Diane Daniels, directly. Our number 2 subject was long-term care insurance, as you would expect. Long-term care insurance has been something of an enigma in this country for at least the last 20 to 30 years. It is totally misunderstood by the public. Most of the public thinks that it's a product for the wealthy. Only the rich people can write that big check for long-term care insurance. But nothing could be further from the truth. Yes, if you are in your 50s, and that's when you should be buying it, not your 70s. In your 50s, when you're healthier. Can you buy it in your 60s and 70s? Absolutely. If you're in your 50s and you're a 62 Who Knew subscriber or viewer, again, go to www.62WhoKnew and check on that long-term care insurance icon so we can put you with one of the nation's best to talk about long-term care insurance. Every statistic, every medical survey taken says you live longer at home. And that's what long-term care insurance is. And many people misunderstand that. Long-term care insurance, many people think are nursing home coverage, nursing home insurance. No, it's anti-nursing home coverage. It allows you to get all the care you need at home, which allows you to live longer. And the younger you buy it at, the less expensive it is. And yes, you can have that same great policy with the same great features and the same great protections for you and your family, because that's what long-term care is about. You and your family, because that's who it affects. So again, go to the website, click on long-term care insurance, and let's see how our experts at 62 Who Knew can help protect you and your family for the number 1 largest cost in your later years in life. 70% of people, 70% of people are going to have at least one long-term care event, and quite possibly with a cost in the tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. Again, that longer lifespan can be a double-edged sword. That's why 62 Who Knew is here. Next on our list, unbelievable as it is, reverse mortgages. We have had 2 shows with my good friend Shannon Hicks, a national expert on reverse mortgages known throughout the country. Reverse mortgages are still surrounded by so much misinformation and half-truths, but are still a fine equity product that allows people 62 years old and above to access a portion of their equity, bring it in without having any attached debt service, without increasing their outflow of cash. Reverse mortgages are still an essential and vital part to aging America and for helping you age in place. Don't believe the myths and misinformation that you read about. Talk to an expert and form your own opinion. And again, go to www.62WhoKnew click on your financing needs. And under that link, you will have the ability to look at all types of mortgages, not just reverse mortgages, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, conventional mortgages, if you're purchasing your retirement home. We love our veterans here at 62 Who Knew. So we do VA loans. We're a direct VA lender with American Pacific Mortgage, one of our national sponsors. FHA loans that allow as little as 3.5% down, or down payment assistance programs, possibly to buy your first house, to help you with that down payment, or maybe help your children or your grandchildren with that down payment. It's all available under the financing link at www.62whoknew. What came next? Unbelievably enough, again, the third largest, tied for third actually, with almost 2,000 views, was gray divorce. What is gray divorce? Gray divorce is divorce over 50 years old. And we had the national expert, the expert. You've heard the expression, oh, they wrote the book on that. Well, our special guest, our national experts, Miss Nancy Hetrick, did write the book on that. There are hundreds of financial planners, if not thousands of financial planners, that use Nancy's book on gray divorce to build an entire financial planning practice, because people are living longer. They're kind of looking at each other in their 50s going, this hasn't been going well for years. And unlike our parents and grandparents that thought they were going to die in 10 or 15 years, today's couple has another 30, 40 years to go. So divorce after 50 has become a staggering topic. And divorce after 50 has different financial ramifications. Nobody's fighting over custody of the children, but there's a house. Sometimes there's multiple houses. There's 401ks, there's IRAs. There's all types of financial differences between a divorce after 50 and before 50. And again, you can get a hold of Nancy Hetrick, who is the #1 expert in the nation, by emailing me at mbanner@62whoknew.com. Nancy's going to become a regular guest soon, but that was tied for third and fourth as our episode as far as viewers go. Preparing for Aging with Anna Lee Kruger, one of our most touching episodes. And we will have information we don't right now on the website on how to get a hold of Anna Lee. But in the coming months, we expect her to become part. In fact, in less than the coming months, expect her to become part of the 62 Who Knew family, become a regular guest, and have a prominent site on the website. We hope. Anna Lee's episode was very well accepted by our viewership because it touched on many emotional things about when the family does call her. She is an expert at this, and she practices throughout the country. When they do call her, they're already in panic mode. And it's so hard to assist people in panic mode. In any case, I don't care what they're doing. You need a pair of shoes and you need it in an hour. You don't have reservations on New Year's Eve and it's 11:30. When you're in panic, when you wait for the last minute, it's always more difficult. But with health, when mom and dad or grandma and grandpa are in trouble and the family hasn't prepared, they haven't done anything, this is panic planning. And it's very difficult. And what Anna Lee does is prepare families in advance. Such an incredible episode that was. We had so much good response from that. And again, we're hoping that Anna Lee becomes a permanent part of the 62 Who Knew family very soon. And will have a place on our website and be a regular guest. Now, we're going to go one more thing. I haven't named the #1 episode viewership because it would figure that the #1 episode would be a vehicle, a platform, a product on how to pay for all of this. Because it's fun to say that you can do retirement planning. You can have the same long-term care insurance as your wealthy brother-in-law or uncle, or you can have an annuity growing for 20 or 30 years to protect you in your 70s and 80s. But where does the money come from? Our number one episode is when we featured the principals of Cornerstone Financial, who created the product Chiefs, CHEIFS, which stands for Converting Home Equity into Financial Success. And what does Chiefs feature? You ready for this? Because most people haven't heard these words put together. That includes financial planners and consumers. Chiefs is about using the fractional equity in your house, accessing the fractional equity in your home. Most people just go, what the hell did you just say? Sure, people think about, I can sell my house, I can get a mortgage, I can get a reverse mortgage. What do you mean sell fractional equity? Never heard of that. That's crazy. Is it really? Let me ask you a question. Have you ever went to the ATM machine, take out 20 bucks, take out 50 bucks, take out a couple of hundred? What are you doing? You're taking out a fractional portion of what you have in the bank. Have you ever went on your stock account? Have you ever called a stockbroker or your financial planner and said, hey, I need to sell $10,000 of this, $3,000 of this. My son needs braces. My daughter is going to college. I'm buying a new house. We need to sell $20,000 of this. What are you doing? You are taking a fractional part of your assets out of your entire portfolio. My God, when you reach your hand in your pocket and you pay for something, you're taking out a fractional part of the cash that's in your pocket. But when you look at somebody and say, could you sell a fractional part of your home? They look at you like you're crazy. Why? Chiefs has brought an option to this country that is literally going to, or in the process of changing, the way America can finance long-term financial planning. There is trillions of dollars of equity that are built up in homes around this country. Chiefs does not have an age limit or an age minimum. This is not a mortgage. This is not a reverse mortgage. Let's give you an example. You have an $800,000 house. Now, 15 years ago, people would have said, what is he talking about? How many people have an $800,000 house? But guess what? Every $400,000 house from 6 years ago and 10 years ago is now an $800,000 house. Every $600,000 house is $1 million house. But let's say you have an $800,000 house that you bought 10 years ago for $300,000 or $400,000. Then you put 20% down and you've been making payments. And you owe about 200 grand on that $800,000. And you're in your mid 50s or 60s. Oh my God, I have $600,000 in equity. Isn't that incredible? Sounds good. Can you do anything with it? Well, not till I sell my house. Is it growing? Yeah. My house grows in value every year. Your house grows in value every year, regardless of how much equity it has. Wrong answer. What if you could take that $800,000 house and sell 20% of it? 20% of 800,000 is 160,000. You would literally own 80% of your home. You still have all homestead rights, all buying and selling rights, all tax advantages. The company that purchases the 20% has no rights to your property whatsoever. Well, then why would I sell 20% of it? Well, because 20% of 800,000 is 160,000. And now you have $160,000. Can you buy that same long-term care insurance policy that all your rich, wealthy friends did, or the ones that you read about that you thought you couldn't afford? Could you put that in your 50s into a long-term annuity, a tax-deferred annuity? So when you're in your 70s and 80s, it's worth 3, 4, 5, 6 times more than that. Are there tax benefits to only owning 80% when it comes to the capital gains when you sell that house? Yes, you will have a partner in your house who has no rights whatsoever. But when you do sell that house, there will be a payback of that 20% plus a return, very fair return. But think of what you could do if you sold 10% of that $800,000 house. What would 80 grand do at 50 years old, at 40 years old, if you put it into a long-term investment? Chiefs was our number one episode in the last 6 months. Okay? Because all of this sounds great, but you got to pay for it. So, as I said, today's going to be a shorter version of 62 Who Knew. I wanted to summarize for you highlights. I was very excited. I'm very excited to have ReMax Alliance joining the 62 Who Knew family, the ability to offer full real estate services, not only over the United States of America, but in the 110 plus countries that ReMax does business in. It's just so exciting to me. We have several other national sponsors joining us in the next few months. So as our viewership continues to grow, it's in the tens of thousands, and our goal is 100,000 before the end of the year, and we will meet that goal. Very proud to say that we have helped people not only understand that they could buy long-term care insurance, that they could afford it, but we've helped them secure it. And I'm very proud that in 10 or 15 or 20 years, let's hope we're all still here, that when they need that in-home care, 62 Who Knew will be one of the reasons why they have it. We have been able to sell people. Sometimes selling is a bad word. We've been able to educate people on life insurance, annuities, and been able to help people set up for retirement. We've been able to help people connect with chiefs and sell a fractional portion of their real estate so they could do some real big financial planning. I know that Diane Daniels has helped so many people with their Medicare and their Medicare supplemental policies. We're just so excited that we've been able to help so many people in just the first 6 months. As our viewership went from, I think the first episode was 53 viewers, then 83 viewers, then 130, then 300, then 800, then 1,500, then 1,900. 62 Who Knew has struck a chord, and we appreciate that because, again, other than the top 2% of this country, and the top 2% have more than $5 million in the bank, the rest of us are working. The rest of us want to be playing with our grandkids in our 70s, 80s, and 90s. But we also want to be able to afford to have a nice life. We want to be able to afford to take those grandkids to Disney World, or maybe on a cruise, or to have the proper medication and the proper transportation. There are so many things coming in the next 5 to 10 years in this great country. So many more medical and scientific advancements. Make no mistake about it. Living longer is a double-edged sword. We must prepare for it. Look at today's environment. We already have a shortage of senior housing, a shortage of food, a shortage of nurses. Oh my God, a shortage of school teachers and professors. What's going to happen when we go from 7 billion people to 10 billion people? Because we're not dying in our upper 80s or early 90s, but we're living to be 100 plus. The world is changing, and you don't want to be left behind. 62 Who Knew is here to help you in every possible way. Make sure that the last 30 years of your life or more can possibly be the best 30 years of your life. And also, I'm going to leave you with one more thing. If we haven't covered any topics on 62 Who Knew that you'd like to see, contact me through the website, through www.62whoknew.com, or email me directly, mbanner@62whoknew.com. So again, this was a little bit of a shorter version today. No guests, just me. Want to thank all my guests, even the ones I didn't get to mention. And I also want to thank our incredibly brilliant producer, Mr. Anthony Rivera of BlueBox Productions, an award-winning producer who has helped me take us from 53 viewers in episode 1 to tens of thousands as we speak now. Thank you so much, Anthony. If any of you out there listening want to do a podcast with a really great company and an award-winning producer, you contact Anthony Rivera at BlueBox Productions. Just Google him. He's everywhere. You now know our most popular topics, but what we're about is aging in place and preparing for the last 30 years of your life to be the best 30 years of your life. Thank you all so much for continuing to watch 62 Who Knew, and we hope to be helping a lot of you and seeing a lot of you at future events. Take care, and may the rest of 2025 be incredibly happy, healthy, and prosperous for you and yours. Take care.